Let's start straight away this video of the best areas to stay in Bali from the trendiest of all places here in the island, which is Canggu. I am actually here in Canggu beach at the moment. Why is it so trendy? Because this is the world capital of the digital nomads, with plenty of restaurants, bars, cafes that become shared office during the day. And then you will find some amazing beach clubs with pools, drinks, really all you want from your holiday. And what about the waves? Perfect for the ride. You know, you can spend 2-3 hours and the water is so warm that you don't really need any wetting. But it's not all perfect, of course. And there are a few drawbacks about staying in Canggu. First, is one of the most expensive areas to stay in Bali. In saying that, prices of food and drinks are very similar to most of Bali. Location-wise, you're less than 20 kilometers from the airport. But the streets are so busy, there is so much traffic, especially as you approach Canggu, that you can take up to 1 hour 30, even 2 hours to come from the airport to Canggu, based on where you stay in Canggu. But what I find to be the biggest drawback of Canggu is the plastic. It has to be said, this is a common problem in the west coast, from Kuta to Canggu and more, in the rainy season. So between December and March, that's where the plastic is literally everywhere on the beach. And Canggu is actually not too bad, because based on the tides, they tend to clean it multiple times a day. But once you jump in the water, you have plastic everywhere on your body, which is really not what you expect from Bali. Here I am in what it was once the busiest, crowded and most popular place to come here in Bali, which is Kuta Beach. This was the place to be if you wanted to go into nightlife. You see, for example, my back, the Sky Garden, the Super Club over there. I was just by chance here last night. I'm not in the age anyway for these clubs, but I was passing by and it was absolutely empty. Reason being is that Kuta has still not recovered from the COVID-19. So I will show you a little bit of the streets and the lanes around Kuta, and you will see it's almost deserted, and it's around the sunset time, usually when people come out for drinks. Bars are absolutely empty. It's quite incredible, isn't it? Even the beach of Kuta is actually almost empty. There are mostly locals, which is absolutely great in some respects, because this part of the island has gone back actually to the locals. In saying that, definitely the business are suffering at the moment. We are in January 2023. It's going to be so much better in 2024 and 2025 here with tourism. But at the moment, this is the place probably where you will find the biggest bargain into the island. Usually, Kuta is also the cheapest places to stay. If you're on a budget, Kuta is a good point to start with your research. In fact, here you find a ton of backpacker accommodations. Restaurants and bars are on the cheap side, so you're gonna end up spending for the meal usually between 4 and 5 Australian dollars, or around 3 euros US dollars. So actually a good price, isn't it? The beach itself is the best spot if you want to go and learn some surfing. The waves are very forgiving and easygoing. It's a good spot, you know, to learn surfing or to do some bodyboarding. So what are the drawbacks of staying in Kuta? Well, first and foremost, as you can imagine, it can be really noisy. And in this respect, I suggest staying away from the main streets and also from the clubs and noisy bars. Easy? Not really, but into the video description you will see links to 2 or 3 accommodations that I personally selected, and they are very quiet. Also, you will find a link actually to my updated guide to where to stay in Bali. I usually update it on a yearly basis because I come quite often to Bali and I love to keep things updated. Second thing, if you come into the rainy season between December and March, you have the same problem as Canggu. Plenty of plastic into the beach. Of course, we try to clean it as much as possible, but You may find actually clean beach, but then you jump into the water and you have plastic around you. Now 2023, must be said, has been a really bad year for plastic. Hopefully things will improve in the next few years. But if you keep watching this video, I'm going to talk about another 2 places in the south coast that don't experience this problem with the plastic. But look how much of the plastic is around. Can you see? Yeah, it's a bit too much for me. You know, you come to Bali for an idyllic place and then you find this situation. And now let me show you a little bit around of the beach and also the town itself. And here I am in the next town after Kuta, which is called Legian. And to be honest with you, there's not much of a difference between Kuta and Legian beach, besides probably the crazy nightlife that you can find in Kuta but not in Legian. The beach is lovely, similar to Kuta. You have plenty of waves which cater to the beginner surfers. There is a sandy break, so it's perfect really if you want to start learning surfing, or you can do some bodyboarding. There are plenty of places where you can actually rent your stuff, and also you can take lessons. They are not very expensive as you expect from anything here in Bali. Accommodation wise, there is really everything for everyone. You can find backpacker places, villas, extremely nice resorts, so it caters really to all the budget. Similarly also with food option. So what are the drawbacks of staying in Legian? First one, it's a very popular destination. You have to book well in advance. There are lots of people around. In saying that, it's still recovering from COVID. At the moment, for example, January 23, there are not as many people around. Second thing, during the rainy season, there is a lot of plastic around. This is a common thing, which in 2023, honestly, it's plenty of them. It's hard to actually have a swim into the sea with plastic around. It's not really what you have dreamed of in Bali. If you think about coming here for the rainy season, I suggest more to go on the other coast. And I will show you 2 beautiful places that at the moment don't have this problem and usually don't during the rainy season. How could I leave out from this guide the town of Seminyak just after Kuta and Legian? Certainly the most pretentious of the 3. Why? Because you will find so many sophisticated bars and restaurants. Accommodation wise, expect boutique resorts and beautiful villas for 1, 2, 3 or 4 bedrooms, which is perfect if you're traveling as a couple or with a family or group of friends. The beach is very similar to Legian and Kuta. And in saying that, during the rainy season, there is also some plastic here, which is one of the drawbacks in staying in Seminyak during the rainy season between January and March. Of course, the other drawback of staying here in Seminyak is the fact that it's one of the most expensive areas to stay actually in Bali. If you're into resort stay, then Nusa Dua has to be. Nusa Dua is about 30 minutes from the airport, so very well located. And honestly, it's a world apart. And you will find it out straight away as soon as you enter in Nusa Dua. You have to go through 2-3 levels of security, making this place probably one of the most secure areas in all of the Southeast Asia. Then you will see cleaners everywhere, making Nusa Dua as clean as Switzerland. And finally, garden also in every corner, making Nusa Dua a huge botanical garden. And I'm talking here about the entire area, not just one or the other resort. The beach, as you see here on my back, is absolutely stunning. Flat water, shallow, so you can come here with the kids without any worry. But if you're more into action, you can take a surfboard and you can go down to the reef. Plenty of surfing down there, small waves, especially in January and February, ideal if you are starting. So what is the drawback of Nusa Dua then? Well, if you're not into resort stay, probably you shouldn't come here. This is a world apart from the rest of Bali. This is not probably what you're going to experience in other areas of Bali. This is perfect if you love resorts life. But otherwise, probably you should find out other areas like the next one that I'm going to talk about. But let me show you around so you will see a little bit more of this area. And here I am in the most historical tourist place of Bali, which is Sanur. This is where it all started back in the years, you know, with the hippies and the artists all coming here. And no wonder why. Look how beautiful is the coast and the beach. And still, after so many years, it has retained that laid-back feeling where you can have plenty of quiet time and relax by the beach. The town itself obviously has become a little bit bigger, but still very quiet too. In fact, I wouldn't suggest Sanur if you are into nightlife. In saying that, this is the best place to stay if you're traveling with families and kids, because the water is quite shallow and it's very flat too. There are restaurants by the beach and bars there too, so you can have a drink, relax and still see the children playing in the water. It's perfect also if you're looking for a quiet stay to relax, you know, for some time here in Bali. So what are the drawbacks of Sanur? Well, first one, which I already mentioned, no nightlife. There is not really any bar or any nightclub. But obviously, if you come to Sanur, it's not for nightclub. You will be also 45 minutes to 1 hour from the airport, so there is a fair bit of driving from the airport to here. But besides that, if you're looking for a quiet spot, then Sanur delivers a lot. And accommodation-wise, you can find a bit of everything from small resorts to family-run hotels, to very cheap accommodations, and also to a few design stay. If you're interested, check out in the video description, there are a few links to accommodation here in Sanur. But I want to show you also a little bit around of the beach and the town itself. I'm sure you already know that Bali is really a big island, and unfortunately I couldn't include all of the areas to stay in this video, just because otherwise the video would have been way too long. But you will see all of them. For example, you will see also Ubud, which is a fantastic spot if you want to be in the middle of the rice fields, into my guide, link in the video description, of the best areas to stay in Bali. It's a great source because you will see pros and cons for each area, and finally also a comparison table between all of the areas, including also a few suggestions to accommodation, which you will find very, very handy. But it's now time to finish this video, and I see you in the next one next week. Ciao!